It's a good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he missed it! It is! Peter Ward! Villa in the lead!
Hello, good afternoon, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe to help me to the road to 2K. Do what you can to help this channel. Make sure to smash the likes on this video, and make sure to give me a follow on all your socials. On today's episode, I'm joined by my special guest, Joe Sayers, who has previously been on the show before. He is from the Albion Obsessed Podcast, and I'll be doing the match preview. I'll be doing the pre-match talk show, Brighton versus Aston Villa, in the Premier League at the Amex Stadium. On Wednesday night, it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Aston Villa travel to the Amex to Brighton, looking to get another Premier League win. Aston Villa's unstoppable record keeps going. Aston Villa are unbeaten after 5 games, which is an incredible record. And we are actually joint third with Chelsea. And with Unai Emery, Aston Villa in a great position with a few weeks to go before the festive period. And also yesterday, Aston Villa beat Wolves 1-0. It was a moment of magic from Boubacar Kamara, which won the derby. And great to have the show, Joe. How are you today?
Yeah, doing good, mate. As you said before we went on, feeling good myself after a good win on yesterday. Luckily, it was my birthday as well, so it was good to get 3 points on the birthday as well. So, and obviously it was nice to not repeat last season's result at Nottingham Forest as well. We lost 7-0 last year, so it was good to get our own back, to get 3 points and to continue to push on up the table. And Crystal Palace lost as well.
For yesterday.
Pardon?
Happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you, mate. The big 3-0.
Also Aaron Thornton. It's his birthday as well today. So if you're watching, Aaron, happy birthday to you as well. You're having a great day, Aaron, and up the Villa. Well, then, so, Joe, we'll get into the show then. So, it's great to have you on board this show again. And once again, we get Amex Stadium again. So, what are you expecting from Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm expecting a tough test. You guys beat us 3-0 at the Amex last year, so we know that you guys hold a lot of qualities still this season. Donyell Marlin's doing well. Morgan Rogers is performing well as well. So, it's going to be a really tough test. As you say, you guys sit third in the Premier League. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens. It's one of my favourite fixtures of the year, as I've told you before. That I've got quite a soft spot for Villa. I'm really looking forward to it, mate. So it should be a good game.
Over the last few seasons, we've got a pretty good record at the Amex. Over the last couple of seasons. Hopefully for Villa that continues. But also, you never know what you're going to get with Brighton, I think. Because Brighton are usually better at home than away from home, usually.
Yeah, we're unbeaten at home as well this season. So it's a little bit of a fortress, and we're trying to make it that. I think the last time we beat you guys at home was maybe 2 seasons ago. And it was a last minute João Pedro penalty, I think. So even then, it was a really stern test. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can continue our good form. We're unbeaten in 4 now. So we've got a lot of confidence. You've got a lot of confidence. So yeah, we'll see this peter out into a 0-0 probably.
Because over the years, there's been some great guys. I remember one of the years, like, it was when Emery not long took over. I think it might have been before the World Cup or something in Qatar. And remember, I think we won 2-1, I think. To me, that always sticks out in the memory for me against Brighton.
Yeah, that was. I think we scored after like the first few seconds in that game as well, and you guys sort of rallied from behind. And I think that may have even been the game where Solly March got kicked and didn't get given a penalty.
Yeah, that's the
We
one.
were very, very angry about. Luca Digne was a very lucky boy. So, yeah, as you say, lots of really good matchups, and I hope that will be the same on Wednesday.
Yeah, because I think we've got very good momentum. And I think that sort of form, if we continue it, we've got a real chance of really getting ourselves in Champions League again for the next season.
Yeah, exactly that. There's lots of European places up for grabs this year. The Premier League is wide open as ever. Look at Sunderland; they're only joint with us in sixth, I think. So, yeah, it's a wild Premier League season yet again, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a few clubs that didn't expect to get Europe get those maybe in higher European places if you carry on that form. And obviously that's something that we're aiming to do as well, is hopefully the Premier League get that top 5 Champions League spot as well, and it just open up for a miraculous somehow Brighton get Champions League football, which would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's going to be like Emery, and it's crucial that Villa, we keep reminding the inconsistent. And I did see the last few away results. You actually start to improve more away from her. Yes, just sort of making ourselves harder to beat. So we beat Spurs and obviously Leeds United as well.
Yeah, we don't tend to do well against teams that can come and really play us and sort of use their game plan over ours. We sometimes get a bit flustered, but I think with Fabian Hertzler, I think he's a manager that's learnt a lot of harsh lessons quite quickly, and he's quite pragmatic, and he will adjust the team as he sees fit for different opponents. That's not something we're used to. With obviously De Zerbi, it was very much his way or the highway. So it's a breath of fresh air, and it's something that fans sometimes get a bit frustrated with because we don't see that consistency. But in the Premier League, it's so tough to get that consistency, isn't it? So
There's always a different approach, I think, because with Hertzler, he's a very young coach. But you sort of give him Brighton sort of new ideas, which I think is needed.
Yeah, exactly. He's also dips his foot into other sports. During the international break, he was at England Rugby watching them and how they set up. And so, yeah, he's very innovative. He takes a lot of stuff from different areas of sport and coaching. So I think we're very lucky to have him. And like last season, I wasn't the biggest fan. I think there were a few cracks that were showing that I was hoping that he would sort of paper over, and he did so. And he's proven to me that he's a more than capable Premier League coach and is the man to take us forward. So, yeah.
I think in this game, the Aston Villa squad depth is going to be useful. Because the likes of Ross Barkley, as Dunya Marlin, and Ian Matson, but those players can change a game. It's amazing to see how many options Aston Villa have got.
Yeah, you've stocked well, and you've got a really good squad. So it'd be interesting to see. Like our bench at the weekend was really good as well. We've got obviously Hinchelwood coming back, and we've got Brian Gruder, the Greek kids as well, who have come into pretty good form. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because both managers have different pieces that they can play at different times, and I think that's where the game's going to be won and lost is the tactical battle between the two managers.
It's going to be great, and also I think impact substitutions. Because I think both benches will make an impact on the game, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, exactly that. As we've said, like there's so many different talents from both sets of clubs. So it would be interesting to see sort of what pieces prevail the other pieces of the squad. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
And we should feel like confidence going into this game. We sort of want this unstoppable run. Villa Park's a fortress. And Emery, they're away from it. He's getting the best out of the players. I think it's important that against Brighton, that a team like we don't want to drop points. I think you're seventh, aren't you, in the league? Is that right?
I think we're fifth in the league, so we're just 2 points behind you. Yeah, 2 points behind you guys. So
I didn't realise actually how well Brighton are actually doing.
Yeah, it's been a weird season. We sort of stumbled out of the blocks early, had a few disappointing results. We've had a lot of disappointing performances as a whole, but we've somehow managed to sort of push those margins into our favour. And the Nottingham Forest performance was probably the most complete performance we've seen so far this season. We've had two really good results at home: 3-0 against Leeds, 2-1 against Brentford. And yeah, it's been a really good sort of start to the festive period. There's a lot of games coming up now, and a lot of points up for grabs. So I think at the end of this period, we'll see where we're at in terms of what we can push for this year.
I'm glad as well that you're going hurt to that. Not time. It was difficult last season. You didn't go through a difficult spell. But you're going to give him time to build the team.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we do. Like we're
a
a
good
patient
structure in
club.
place.
Yeah, we're a patient club. We've got really solid foundations laid by our owners, and you see so many clubs chop and change manager all the time. They can't get that consistency, and then eventually they'll just sort of fall down the league. So for us, it's just important to have that consistency at the top, build for what the manager wants, and then eventually you'll get your flowers from that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where we end up.
See, I mean, if Villa win, it's sort of relieving the pressure because we've got a whole game coming up against Arsenal. So it's important, we try and capitalise on the winnable games, because I think Arsenal could be a test. But I can't wait for the Arsenal game. I think it's going to be a great game between obviously Mikel Arteta and Emery. It'll be fascinating.
Is that at Villa Park? Is it? Oh,
Villa Park, yeah. We got you guys, then we got then Arsenal at Villa Park.
There you go then. Yeah, that would be a great battle. Obviously, Emery's got a lot to prove against Arsenal, isn't he? Yeah, it'd be a great thing for you guys to sort of disrupt that title charge that they're on.
Yeah, doesn't like Brighton, like their team. They've got a lot of quality in the squad, the international players. And they've got a few talented players. They've got some young players.
Yeah, we've put together a really good squad. We've got, as I said, those two Greek kids who came in at the start of the season. Kostoulas scored against Man United in our loss, unfortunately. But he doesn't seem to shy away from the physicality of the Premier League. And Seamas has got such a big frame. Obviously got his first Premier League goal against Forest yesterday. So yeah, we're in a good place. We've got a lot of experience as well. Obviously, Lewis Dunk at the back, James Milner in the dressing room, Danny Welbeck up top for us as well, aging like a fine wine and performing extremely well and knocking on that England door. I was sort of like dumbfounded when he didn't get into the last England squad, considering he's the highest scoring English player in the Premier League. But then around that, we've got Yankuba Minter, who's a really raw talent. We've got Ayari, Carlos Baleba, Brian Gruder off the bench. So, yeah, we're in a good place, and we've got a lot of players that can affect the game. So, it'd be interesting to see who can do that on Wednesday.
Because you're very well established Premier League team. Yeah, it's been since 2017. That you've been in the Premier League. That's quite a long time. You done quite well to stay there.
Yeah, I think, as I say, we've just been really lucky with our owner in terms of the long-term plan that he's had. We struggled in our second season in the Premier League and only just stayed up. So we were quite lucky in that sense. But then from there, it's just been strength to strength. And as you say, we're establishing ourselves now. This is our 9th Premier League season, so next year it'll be going into our 10th year in the Premier League. So I think people will start having to put a little bit of respect on Brighton's name, and is to mention them as a Premier League side. A lot we sort of get disregarded when people look back in the past and have that nostalgia. How should the Premier League look? It shouldn't have Brighton, Brentford, and Bournemouth in it. It absolutely should. We've earned our place. And we're good value for being in the Premier League now. So I think, as I say, people need to put a bit more respect on our name.
It's important to consolidate yourself in the Premier League. Because you haven't just done that there. Also, you sort of achieved a lot more than what you thought. You don't just stay up you managed to get your Europa League a few times. You've got a few European finishes.
Yeah,
they're a decent Premier League side.
Yeah, as I say, we're a good side, and we're now looking to upset that sort of top 6 established.
To do, yeah.
So, like, you guys have done it, Newcastle have done it, and you both were in the Championship at the same time that we were, so there's absolutely no reason why we can't be doing it as well. So that's the aim, and that's what we're hopefully going to get to.
I think your owners, I think they're very ambitious. It's good to have ambition, I think.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that ambition has been sort of accelerated, considering Crystal Palace won a couple of trophies in the last few months. And we want to be doing that as well. We don't want our bitter rivals to have that over us. So, that's the next aim as well, is to get a little bit of silverware in our cabinet.
We'll talk about yesterday. We'll talk about Aston Villa's last results. So we'll talk about the Wolves game. What was your thoughts from the Wolves game? Did you see any highlights or anything? Or did you see any of it? Or
yeah, I saw Kamara's goal. I thought it was an excellent finish. Didn't see much else. Obviously, I think Strand Larsen scored, but it was ruled out.
Ruled not away of it. Luckily, that was a let off. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that it was a little bit of a tougher game, and that Wolves put up a bit of a fight. But I think in those derbies, form goes out the window, league position goes out the window, and it's tiny little margins, and you manage to edge it in the end.
Bragging rights, and obviously, we're joint third with Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly that. So, it was good for you guys to get that edge. And as I say, I'm always looking out for Villa results. My auntie's a Villa fan, so she was keeping up to date with it whilst we were watching the Brighton game yesterday.
I went to the game. Yeah, I was there. I was at the game. I went to the game yesterday.
Nice. How did you find it?
Oh yeah, well, at the start with, it started off very tense. I think in credit to Wolves. Just first off, I thought they frustrated us. Not really well. I don't think it was like an easy game. Because I was expecting, because in the past, we haven't got the best record against Wolves. So I'm just glad we got over the line and got the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly that. As you say, it's all about getting over the line, and the result doesn't matter as long as you get those 3 points. That's the most important thing for the table. So, it was good that you guys edged that.
It's not all about grinding results. Like, even if you don't play at your best, that always shows a sign of a strong team.
Exactly that. And if you're winning every game 1-0, and you're not playing well, you're still getting those 3 points, and you could even win the Premier League doing that. So it's no mean feat winning 1-0. It shows, as you say, you're a solid side. You can keep a clean sheet and you can edge it when you need to.
Yeah. Because with Villa Park, Emery, we really made it a fortress. It's so important to keep up your good home form. If you win
Yeah.
most of your home games, you'll have a good season.
Yeah, exactly that. I always say win at home, draw away, and by the end of the season, you're not going to be far off of your targets.
Because I can't remember the last time that we actually lost at Villa Park. It's been so long. I think it's 4 games unbeaten, but I think it's been a big run at home. I think thanks to Emery, as soon as he came in, that was one of his objectives, to make Villa Park a fortress. And he's done that.
Yeah, he's a great coach, and he's been someone that I've enjoyed watching. I felt like he didn't get a fair shot at Arsenal, so for him to come back to the Premier League and to do so well with you guys, it's a massive credit to him and the coach he is, because he is an elite coach. I don't think anyone can argue that.
Yep. I'm always here, I think. We've got to make the most of it, Emery. I would like us actually see get to not win a trophy. Don't really mean not complete it for me, I think. Because Emery, I know Emery, he ain't gonna be there at Aston Villa forever.
Yeah, well, he's the Europa League master, so hopefully this year for you guys
Yeah,
in the Europa League, you'll do well there and get to the final and hopefully win that. I think that would be a great thing for him to do.
But going back to the game, I'm not sure what you thought, Jay. But I thought the referee had an appalling game. Because then you saw that the VAR check, the foul was on Kamara. They checked it, and after all that, they just give a yellow.
Yeah, I mean the consistency of the officiating across the league is just ridiculous. And for us fans in the stadium, it's the hardest thing, I think, because we just don't know what's going on whilst they're checking. So I think that sort of like overshadows the actual performance. Is just our frustration of it. So everything they do, we get really annoyed with it. So yeah, it's always frustrating when that happens in the stadium, and then you watch it back and you start thinking, why did it take that long, or why has these things happened? That communication, I think, needs to be better to the fans. I think.
Doesn't he just not consistent stuff? Because I think the challenge, like, it is a reckless challenge. You give a red card, and you don't give a yellow for a reckless challenge.
No, exactly that. As I say, that is that consistency of the application of the rules. 1 week it's a red card, next week it's not. So again, where's the reasoning to us fans? That's why we're getting so frustrated with it, is because it's just one thing for one team, one thing for another.
That's it. Like, it's like one rule for another. I think the standards of referees have really gone down over the last few seasons, especially in the Premier League. It's not good enough standards.
Yeah, I think they maybe get comfortable with VAR being their safety net, and they don't make as many calls as they should do. And for us fans, we want them to take lead on, controlling a game, but not being the center of attention. For me, a great refereeing performance is when you don't even notice the referee in the game. Someone that just lets it flow. It's fair for both sides, but we're not seeing enough of that. And I think that comes down to VAR just being that safety net for teams.
Because I think with VAR, it's not being utilised the way it should be. Because when it first came in, we all thought it was a good idea. When they do get it right, it is good. But you can't always. I don't think you can always rely on it 100%.
No, I think it's that like constant intervention from VAR, isn't it? Like for us, our understanding was it was
always checking.
We thought it was coming in to check clear and obvious mistakes on the field by the referee. But as I say, that's why I think it's that safety net for the referees, because they have got VAR saying maybe you should look at that again, or like, you know, we can slow it down, we can play a million different frames, and you can change your mind. I don't think that's how football should be. It should all, you know, the main calls should come from the referee on the field.
We'll go up to the game again. I'll have to mention about Super John McGinn. Yesterday, it was his 300th appearance. And it was a real great touch for the fans. I think there was a giant tifo in the whole tent. And I think the fans really appreciate what he's done for the club. Yeah, and also, he's been on the journey with the fans all through the Championship days.
Yeah, he's a great model professional, isn't he? And you know, does well for his country as well from time to time, and it's just someone that's adapted his way of playing under different managers, different leagues, and you know, always comes out as the model professional, as I say. So it's not a bad thing to have in your team, is it? Someone like John McGinn who can create and fight when he needs to. So he's a great player.
He's a real leader. I'm so glad he signed a new contract. Because I think at Aston Villa, John McGinn's very happy. To enjoy football, and I think he's learned even a lot in improving off Unai Emery. Because he can be grateful to his manager for what he's done for him.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, there's so many managers that are influential. Obviously, De Zerbi was influential for our leader, Lewis Dunk, in changing the way he viewed football and played his game. And that's, you know, put a few more years into Lewis Dunk's legs, because otherwise he was just going to be that no-nonsense centre-back. He was throwing his body on the line. So, it's great when managers can come in and mould the mind of the player to get that extra 10% out of them.
Because John McGinn's sort of player that in a game when you need somebody, he steps up like in the big moments. He's always there. But say we all need or we need, he's always there.
Yeah, you always want a player that won't shy away from responsibility when they need it. And he is one of those players. So he's been a great captain for you guys, and you know, long may that continue for your case.
And Eddie Martinez, I think, going back to the game, if it wasn't him, I think it might be a different game. I think he kept us in the game. I thought as well.
He made a crazy good save, where it sort of like hit him like down low and then it came up and then he sort of like palms it away. He's always good at that sort of save, isn't he? Like those split-second reactions. He's a great player. Like I don't know. I understand what happened with him at the end of the season though. Like what?
Yeah.
Like I was surely he's going to leave. Like what happened there?
I actually thought he was going to leave. Yeah, what happened? It was a destroyed situation. At the time, it was already I think he wanted to leave. I think we're really lucky at him because he's a big personality in the dressing room as well. You know, the signs he's made. And of course, at Argentina, he has been the number one as well in the world.
Yeah, as I say, he's a great keeper, and I'm sort of, you know, glad for in your case that he's sorted his head out and is now performing for you guys. It'd be interesting to see where he ends up. As you say, he's one of the best keepers in the world, so it must instill a lot of confidence in, you know, the likes of Pau Torres, Ezri Konsa, to have him behind them. So it's always a good platform to build on when your centre backs and your goalkeeper understand, you know, where to be.
Yeah, that's it. The second half, we upped the game. It was more urgency. Defence is solid at the back. I thought Matty Cash played well. He had a lot of energy. The only thing I would say about the game, I think Donyell Marlin was kept quiet, but I think potentially Donyell Marlin is going to start again on Wednesday. He could cause problems. He scored against Brighton last season as well, Donyell Marlin.
He did. I think it was Rashford as well, and I can't remember the other scorer. But yeah, players like Donyell Marlin who would pick up the ball and run at you and run in behind are always a handful for us with our centre backs who aren't maybe as mobile as we'd like them to be. So it'd be interesting to see like who we put on Marlin to try and quiet him down. Whether he's playing out wide or through the middle, it'd be a good matchup either way, I think.
He deserves a regular start. Got Ollie Watkins. He's been really struggling with his confidence. I think now Watkins, he knows now that he's got up his game because of Marlin. He's got competition for places now.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's healthy to some degree, but you don't want Watkins to get too downbeat or to think that he's been replaced, because then obviously he'll be looking to
What do you
move
think
on.
of it all? Do you think we should be starting him, or do you think it's right to put him on the bench like the last game that we did on the bench and that?
Yeah, it's a really hard call, as you say. Like the confidence thing is a massive factor. You want to hand him at least a few starts to see what he can do and to see if he can, get that goal to shake that duck off his back. And I think Emery will be moulding him and reassuring him that he can still make an impact this season. What better way to do it against Brighton? I mean, he scored a hat-trick against us once in that 6-1 win, I think. So it's a team.
Scoring against you guys quite a few times, Watkins. Good.
Yeah.
It's a good record.
Exactly. And so many strikers have said you get your teams that you just love to play against and you love to score against. So I'm sure as soon as he sees that Brighton badge opposite him, he'll find his scoring feet again.
And he needs to get his form game before the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly that. So that's a massive incentive for him. The other incentive, as you say, is to get ahead of Donyell Marlin, who's doing really well this season. So he's got a lot to live up to, and I'm sure he can. He's a quality player, and he just needs that confidence back.
Okay, let's go to the next one. We're going to predicted lineups. So I'm going to get this graphic on the screen. So this is the Brighton team we expect to play against Aston Villa. So June, you kindly sent me this. So can you talk to me how Brighton set up? How do you think they'll set up on Wednesday?
Yeah, of course. Just want to shout out Aaron in the chat. Yeah, it was great to speak to you last time. Aaron. So yeah, big happy birthday to you, mate. So yeah, as I said, like I sent this to you, Chad. I think it will be sort of very much similar as to what we have seen. There's a potential that Carlos Baleba might not start. He hasn't been overly good this season. So there is a potential that it would be Gomez playing in midfield and maybe Kadioglu to come in on the left. But this is how I expect us to start. A back four, as you can see, Mats Vifa has been excellent at right back. And Van Hecker and Dunk have, really established their partnership, which has been amazing. De Kuyper obviously scored yesterday against Nottingham Forest, and it looks like he's a massive upgrade on purpose.
They like to get forward, the Brighton fullbacks.
Yeah.
But they're really bomb forward, I think. They like to support the attackers.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful with that on Wednesday, though. I think Villa are a team that can hurt you on the counter, and you can get the ball up the pitch quite quickly. So I think we'll have to be a bit more reserved there. As I say, Danny Welbeck's in fine form. So him and Jorginho got a great partnership as well, and Yankuba Minter out wide there has just been excellent for us. One player I do really want to highlight though is Yasin Yari. I think he's quietly gone under the radar this season as being our best midfielder, shining above Carlos Baleba, who we tipped to have £100 million move in the summer.
Do you think he could be a problem for Aston Villa on Wednesday?
Yasin Iari.
Yeah, do you think he could cause a few
Yeah,
issues?
I think he's someone that isn't shy of a physical battle in midfield. Obviously, you've got some very good midfielders in Yuri Tillemans, Andre Onana. You like to pack the midfield with powerhouses, so it might be a struggle for him if he's not playing alongside Carlos Baleba. But if he is playing alongside Carlos Baleba, who is breaking up the play, Yasin Iari can pick a pass. He can score from distance. So yeah, he could cause a few issues, I think.
As well as with Donny Welbeck, it feels like he's been around the block for a long time, but he's an experienced goal scorer. And I think he's always been a clinical finisher. He knows what the back end is.
Yeah, he's an excellent footballer. As I say, he's aged like a fine wine, and we absolutely love watching him in the stripes. And he's again a player that's had to adapt the way he plays football with a lot of injuries, playing under a lot of different managers. But
How old is he now?
35 now.
Oh
So,
wow, he's still going.
Really, really getting on. But he just is in a great shape. Is finding his space to get shots away and is scoring them. So yeah, he's been excellent. And at the other end of the pitch, Bart Verbruggen has been absolutely fantastic for us in the last few games. Was excellent against Forest, saved a penalty against Brentford, and kept his first 2 clean sheets of the season. Now 3 clean sheets of the season. So yeah, a lot of confidence in him going forwards. And yeah, we've got a solid spine, and we've got a few players that can cause.
He's doing decent goalkeeper, yeah.
Still very young as well. So we hope that we can keep hold of him for as long as possible. But of course, as we well know as Brighton fans, when your players do well, they end up going to Chelsea. Yeah. So we'll see. But that's how
I know the feeling, yeah. Over the years, we've had the players we have to serve. I always hate selling your best players. There's no reason why I don't like, the PSR thing. Because I just think it protects the bigger clubs.
Yeah, exactly that. But lucky for us, we've been in a very good position in terms of the profit that we've made. In terms of like how much money Chelsea have given us, so we've done all right there. So I think we are in a stronger position to say no and to keep hold of our bigger players now.
Yeah, because also you got Dunk. Like he's a giant. He's like physical battle. To give you he's physically strong. He's very good in the air.
Yeah, he's a great physical player. He's been with us since we were in League One, and has captained the side now for a number of years. He's Brighton through and through. So we're very lucky to have him. He's playing probably one of his best seasons this year. So an injury-free Lewis Dunk is always the best player on the pitch. So. Yeah. I think, we're very lucky to have him back there.
I think Lewis Dunk is very similar to Dan Burn, I think. There's a lot of similarities, I think. Especially his physical height. They're both like giants. And Dan Burn, a bit like you said about Lewis Dunk, they've both been at the football club for a fairly long time.
Yeah, exactly that, and they like to play with the ball at their feet as well, which you don't expect from big physical centre halves. Lewis Dunk can pick a diagonal pass really, really well. He can pass through defensive lines, and so can Jan-Paul van Hekke. So we've got 2 centre backs who are very similar in terms of the way they like to play, and I think that can't be a bad thing at all when you've got that partnership sort of growing.
Because Lewis Dunk, has he been in the England squad?
Yeah, he went to the Euros last year, and also he was in the squad in, I think, around 2019. But he hasn't had as many England call-ups as we would have liked him to. I think England have been well stocked in that area anyway. But there's been times where Harry Maguire's been picked ahead of him, which is just, for me, an absolute farce. Lewis Dunker's been one of the best English centre-backs in the Premier League for about six years now. So I think he should have definitely had more England caps.
Do you have some decent defensive options? Do you get some good players who get good the ball at their feet? They're not to play the ball out from the back. They adapt to it really well, I think, the style of the play.
Yeah, exactly that. As I say, like they're just really good footballers above being good defenders. Mats Vifa was naturally a centre midfielder before he was moved to right back, and Maxime de Kuiper has got a wand of a left foot. So, as I say, we've got good footballers all the way throughout our team, and footballers that can hurt other players all throughout the whole 11, except for maybe Bart Verbruggen in goal, obviously. So yeah, we're well stocked, and we're confident in our ability.
Okay. To move on to the next talking point. So let's talk about Brighton. So Joe, what is your overall thoughts on Brighton? And do you think they will be able to challenge for European football this season?
Yeah, as I say, it's been a weird start. The performances maybe haven't sort of reflected our league position. We've had a few really, really poor performances where we've looked like we've only just started playing football together, but then we've been really, really good in moments, and we can show that we can, fight for more. So I think we're in a good position to push on to get European football this year. It's just about getting that consistency in a league where consistency is so hard to find. So I think we just need to keep going, and I'm sure we'll achieve something special this year if we carry on the way we're going.
And you seem to show a lot of resilience. Just saw you not in the Brentford game. You seem to always show reaction. When you're behind, you always show good character.
Yeah, exactly that. I think one of our hosts on the podcast always says that he's more comfortable if we go 1-0 down rather than 1-0 up. He's got more faith in our bounce back ability than our well resolved to keep a lead. But I think that's starting to change. I think we're learning a lot, and the younger players are getting that more experience in how to manage a game in the really difficult moments. So I think we're in a good place. As I say, we're confident, and we're fighting for each other. So if you're doing all of those basic things right, you can't go far wrong.
Yeah. That I was talking about earlier in the show. Well, Brighton have got a strong bench. So I think this season your squad depth looks better. It's like us actually. Also, our squad depth's looking good this year. The same as Brighton. So if you've got a good squad depth, you have a chance to get European football. The big thing is that you need to keep your players fit. That's the big thing.
Yeah, exactly that. And we've been without Karim Matoma now for quite a while, who's obviously a fantastic player for us on the left-hand side. We're getting Jack Hinshelwood back from injury, who scored against Brentford in his first game back after a few months. He's looking excellent. And obviously James Milner is out injured as well, and he's always a great option to come on and calm the nerves, and he's got experience upon experience. So obviously you know about James Milner being a Villa boy. So
that's a good memories of James Milner. Cheers. Very, very dedicated professional.
Yeah, exactly that. So we're very lucky to have him in the twilight of his career, he's always there. He's always in the dressing room, whether he's injured or not. Passing his experience on to the younger players. So it's imperative to us to have those figures like Danny Welbeck as well in the squad.
I'm sure with James Milner, I think he broke the record, for Premier League appearances. I think that's right, isn't it?
I think he's
It
about
wasn't
10
long.
appearances away.
Or something like that. Yeah, he's not a long way for the record.
Yeah, so we're hoping he can beat that with Brighton, and then he can be a pub quiz answer across the country as well. So yeah, it would be a really good thing to achieve for him. And you know, we spoke about model professional in John McGinn. James Milner is, I think, the ultimate model professional. You know, he's won so much, won Premier Leagues, won Champions League. So yeah, it's incredible to see.
He's had a very illustrious career, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
he's been there and done it. He's played for Villa, he's played for Liverpool. I mean, Newcastle, like the Man City, I mean, some great clubs over the years.
Yeah, and obviously
Leeds, was it? Yeah, Leeds was another one.
yeah, and obviously the biggest club he's played for is Brighton and Albion, of course.
Look at Milner is versatile, I think. He can play in a number of positions. I think he can play right back, midfield. He can play in the wing, left back.
Yeah, we saw him play on the wing once against Tottenham, and I was like, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous, playing a 39-year-old on the left-hand side. But he actually done really well. So as I say, like, that's just credit to how good he is and how much of a model professional is he. He'll put in a shift anywhere you put him.
Yeah. It's not easy, as a professional. Running around the football pitch, it's not easy. But age isn't really on his side. But still, he's not like it. Like, he's ahead of his years, like, mentally, but physically, he's not really well.
Yeah, exactly. I think James Milner is going to be a fantastic manager in years to come as well. So, and credit to him because he's dedicating his life to football and he's getting the most out of it.
Yeah. Well, I met him actually a couple of years ago. Was that Icons? I think it was.
Okay.
With Martin O'Neill's manager, I remember. Yeah, I briefly met him. Yeah, he's a good nice guy.
Yeah, I think anyone that's ever met him that I've known has always had good things to say about him. So, yeah, always good when they say never meet your heroes, but sometimes you should. And I would love to meet James Milner as well.
So we're going to the next talking point there. So we're going to talk about predictions for Aston Villa during the festive period. So what's your predictions for Villa? In a few weeks' time, it's coming up to the festive period.
Yeah, you've got some hefty games there coming up. Arsenal twice in the Premier League in the space of a few weeks. So that's not overly fair on you guys. Obviously, you've got the Europa League campaign that you're doing really well on as well. I think from those fixtures, you should be winning at least 70% of them. I think obviously Chelsea are a tough side, but they are vulnerable when you play to their vulnerabilities. Like we exposed them like you wouldn't believe. And United are a mixed bag. West Ham mixed bag. Arsenal.
You seem to get a good record against them at Villa Park. We don't seem to get a bit of a bogey team at United.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of bogey teams over the years, and hopefully that this is a season where you can overcome them. I really think you could maybe even get something against Arsenal, whether it be just a point, just as I say, just to disrupt that top six, not top six, disrupt their title charge, I should say. Villa Park, I've been there a few times. When you get Villa Park rocking, it's a terrifying place for opponents to be. So get an early goal, put them on the back foot, and you won't go far wrong.
You don't remember what's it that 6-1? Was it 6-1? Was it or something? That one season against Brighton.
Yeah, you beat us 6-1.
Another run it in.
Yeah, you beat us 6-1. Ansu Fati scored the only goal
Yeah,
that
that
maybe
was
gave
all
us a
right.
little bit of promise. I was at Villa Park last season for Aston Villa versus
You
Fulham.
did all sorts of
Um,
photos that you yeah.
so yeah, really enjoyed that. And yeah, as I said, Villa Park was rocking then, and if you can do that against Fulham, you can get up for Arsenal as
Yeah.
well. So as I say, it's a formidable place, and the noise that's generated around there is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'll give my predictions as to Villa fans. So, I think Arsenal, I need to be realistic. I'll say it'll be close, but I think we'll lose that one, I think. Arsenal top of the league. I think Basel, I think will win. West Ham, I think will win. I think Man United, I think will win as well. I think Chelsea defeats. I think the second game against Arsenal, we will draw against them because we have a good record at the Emirates Stadium. That's what I'll sort of go with.
Yeah, it would be, as I say, interesting. You got, as you say, a good record at Emirates. I think it's just those games against Chelsea and Arsenal where I'd maybe fear a little bit for you guys. I really do think you
Yeah,
can do it
that could be
against United.
difficult. Yeah.
West Ham, I think, would be an easy task for you, and I don't know what Basel are like, to be honest. So yeah, yeah.
We'll go to the final talking point. We'll talk about Brighton's recruitment policy. So what has made Brighton's recruitment so effective over the years?
Simple answer is Tony Bloom. His data that he pulls from his company Star Lizard is groundbreaking data that is helping other teams now. He's invested in Hearts, who are flying, I think, still at the top of the SPL. And I think we're just lucky in the sense that we've got an owner that is looking, 4 or 5 steps ahead all the time. So when we do lose players like Moises Caicedo or Alexis McAllister, we've got players that are coming in and are ready and waiting to be sometimes just as good, sometimes not as good, but still effective. So, as I say, we're so blessed with the ownership we have. I think we've been lucky in terms of the transfer profits that we've made, which puts us in a really good position to then go into the market and be aggressive from time to time. Obviously, we took Yankuba Minter from Newcastle because they had PSR issues. So, we've got a hierarchy that are predicting the way football is going to go, and they're ahead of the curve. And I think that's why we've done so well.
I think it's important to plan ahead for the future. Like, not here and now. You got to plan for the future. That's what I like about actually. Like Aston Villa. We've got a new president of football operations. His name's Alarby, I think. I think he's supposed to be doing similar things, apparently.
Yeah, I think Brighton have changed the mould in terms of football hierarchies and how people look at how they should be operating their football club. So I think we're quite proud in that fact that we're changing the narrative around that. And I hope more clubs do it because it is the purest way of being a football club rather than, all of this oil money and all of that rubbish. So, it'd be interesting to see how much that floods out into other football clubs.
Yeah. Also, not just Brighton. I mean, look at Brentford. It really worked for them, just like you guys. It was so with Brentford. They've got a very good recruits. Recruited really well, Brentford.
Exactly that, and Bournemouth as well have done well to keep hold of players and to still be aggressive in the Premier League. And I think more clubs need to do it. You look at Leicester and they spent crazy money and now they're 16th in the Championship. So we have to build sustainably. I think every football club should have a sustainability model because there's so many football clubs that have fallen from grace and fallen down the football pyramid and are really struggling. So we've been that club. We've been a point and a goal away from not existing, and now look at us. We've risen from the ashes, if you like.
We thought you replaced talent, but with talent, but you lost the likes of Leandro Trossard. Sort of like, players like McAllister. But then you just replaced them with players that can just do a good job,
Yeah, exactly that. And people think that they come out of nowhere, and we've got a revolving door of talent. But it's all well nurtured talent. It's all talents that have gone out on loan and have gained experience of being in and around the squad, and then eventually come through into the Premier League side. And then people are like, hold on, where have Brighton got this Yasser Niyari guy from? Actually, he's been at the club for 4 years, and he's been out on loan twice. So yeah, we nurture talent in a really good way, and then we get our rewards for it.
You seem to make a good profit over the years. Like, a lot of these players. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. I think it's fascinating. I think.
Yeah, we always wonder where the next profit's going to come from. Of course, we would like to keep hold of Carlos Baleba, but it looks like he might be going for big money sooner rather than later. But as I say, it just allows us to keep our model the way it is, and we have to accept that as Brighton fans, I think, because it's got us the success that we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, as I say, long may it continue.
Have Brighton got a good academy?
Yeah, we've got a Category 1 academy as well. We've got a few guys coming through: Freddie Simmons, James Beadle, obviously Jack Hinshelwood, Harry Howell as well. All really, really good players that eventually in a few years' time, people will be talking about going to Chelsea probably. So we'll see where we're at, but we're in a good place.
We've always produced some top-tier players over the years. Bodymoor Heath, the state-of-the-art training facility.
Yeah, and they're always good to have. It's good in terms of attracting players as well. We talk about attracting like big talents that can come in and affect your Premier League side, but actually attracting talents of the future as well. To say that this is where you can come in and learn your trade and learn your football to eventually, have that pathway to the Premier League. And I think that's really important.
Well, we're going to the end of the podcast. So, Joe, before we finish, can you give me a score prediction for Wednesday night?
Of course. I will give you a head and a heart prediction. My head is saying 2-0 Aston Villa. My heart is saying 3-2 to Brighton.
Yeah, that's quite a good prediction. That's fair enough. I'm going to go 2-0 away win for Aston Villa. I think the good run will continue at the Amex. And hopefully then it will take that momentum into the Arsenal game.
There you go.
Well, thanks, Joe. I always enjoy having you on the show.
Yeah, always good to chat to you, mate. And thanks for having me on again.
Appreciate the time. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash the likes on this podcast. Make sure to give it a share on your socials. And if you're listening via audio, make sure to leave us a good review. That always help me out massively. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much, Joe, for your time.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
I'm going to wrap up this episode with Villa forever as always. And